Welcome to Enlightened World Network. I'm Dr. Ruth Anderson. I'm here with Sharmee Divan and Rachel Otto. We're here for Light Language, One with the Light. This has been such a fascinating series for us. Sharmee and I have been hosting and having different people come on every week, learning about light language. Rachel, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you so much for inviting me and having me here with you two amazing souls.
Well, this is going to be fun. So, Rachel comes to us from California. She's the founder of Way Chill Life. She's worked for over 20 years with major corporations, including Hard Rock Café, president of Meeting Professionals International, and general manager of New Orleans TV. There's a lot packed in right there. You have been connected to spirit since you were a child, Rachel.
Yes. So
my guess is long before that.
Yeah. That fun earth walk that we're on. You know, as a child, we are really connected into our inner child, into the mysteries of life. And then I had some sort of trauma, which I'm sure everybody, all your listeners can imagine on their own trauma or their own incidents, where all of a sudden you get scared of the gifts that you have and you turn them off. And you say, I don't want to do this. No, I don't understand. I'm running away. And so then we let go of our gifts. We let go of our connection. And then we spend a good 20 years trying to find it back. And that's what most people's spiritual journey is learning to turn back on what we chose to turn off and not listen to or not hear. And so I put that I did all those jobs because I was very much in the third dimensional world. I was very, very much stuck in the reality of the matrix of life and money and debt and worry and never having a moment, not knowing how to meditate, not knowing how to be quiet within. And then all of a sudden, you get your own great awakening and a reality that you have to lift that veil. And so I let it all go about 12 years ago and walked away from all of those lovely jobs you listed off and went on to my journey to open up what I had sealed off.
So can you share with us, I know that you connect in with the angels, and I know that you connect in with other beings as well. How did that come about? Did you always experience that as a child?
That's an awesome question, which I'm very excited that I do have a second book coming out where we go into far greater detail about this earth walk and the journey that I took from why I turned it off and to how I turned it on. But what I'm going to tell you, dear listeners, is a very brief story of my first great teacher, Walter Lubick. From Germany. And I had taken a Reiki class because I was very much aligned with taking Reiki energy. And I heard that he doesn't just teach rainbow Reiki and all these things, he also teaches angelic connection. And my heart just went, oh! And so I signed up for the class and I, paid my deposit. And then all of a sudden, all of the fear and doubt, the implants, the old programs, the old matrix of witchcraft, of Christianity holding negative energy, the Catholic Church. I mean, anything bad that I'd ever seen in a movie. No, don't do this. No, you shouldn't be a part of this. No. And I suddenly got scared to take this class. And what an experience of the anxiety and the fear. And then the next stage before I took the class was the purging. And when I say purging, I mean it was very physical for me. I would throw up at a drop of a hat. And it wasn't what I just ate. It was plastic and pieces and different colors and things coming out of me. And it happened this whole 6 months leading up to this course, leading for him to come to the United States to teach this class. And so my physical body was changing. I had to be prepared to accept this higher energy. I had to be prepared to go into being one with the angels and speaking the language and actually hearing them. My ears were full of what I call human ego, this black tarry substance that pulls us down with fear. People also call it low energy and lower vibration. It's not necessarily the underworld, maybe shadow work, but it would just block me. Okay. And there is a veil. So I almost quit the class. I almost didn't do it. And I kept feeling deep inside, no, this is a calling. I'm supposed to. So when Walter came and I actually met him, it was that moment that I know my whole life and my whole being changed. And he's a great teacher. He's a great guru. He's got plenty of books that any of you can read and actually attune yourself. But in this Angel One class with him, I got clicked on. And right before the final initiation, because he does initiate you into how to speak to the angels, how to connect into the angels, the order of angels, how it all works. And he teaches through Lemurian words and Lemurian ways that he had downloaded. That right before I went and I purged for 30 minutes. And unfortunately, we were in a small space. And so the other people that were taking the class could hear me purging and releasing all of this stuff, because your physical being has to be ready to travel, to experience this. And I could hear one of the other participants saying, well, she's not ready. She shouldn't be taking this class and she shouldn't be doing this. And very loudly, Walter said, out of all of you, she will be the one who continues with this work and spreads it the furthest. Wow. 12 years later, he's right. None of the other people in that class teach it like I do, expand upon it, write about it, and try to get others to connect in to their angelic beings and themselves. So I was actually taught old school, like a mystery school. I mean, I was taught the old Lemurian ways and the old chants. And the best way that I could describe it is that instead of saying a mantra 10,000 times to feel the energy and the connection, I got there immediately through his initiations.
Right.
And then through practice, because, what is the old saying? How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, 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 right? You strengthen that connection. You strengthen your ability to talk to the guides. And then, of course, I took other courses at Lily Dale Assembly and understood more of the levels of talking to a human soul versus talking to an angelic soul versus talking to an ultra-terrestrial or an otherworldly being. These are different dimensions, different planes, different levels of energy. Who is it that I want to deal with? Well, got to be honest, I don't care much about the human souls. That's when you get maybe to Santeria, voodoo, or necromancy, and where they try to control them and learn from them. Let's be honest, how much can you learn from a guy from 1800s? I mean, seriously, they only have memories and thoughts of that time. They don't know what's modern and current and going on. Yes, maybe they can go get you some things. And yes, we miss our loved ones, but there's other ways. We don't need to bother the other souls on this planet. We need to elevate them so that they're not stuck and they're not in this goo. But that's not my job. I don't really want to do that. So I do get human souls, and I only take what messages that they need for, say, a particular client. Other than that, I can ignore them or I'll send them to the light, because the angels, why, They are the messengers from God. And we forget that we're them. We're them. We're just physical. And in order to get the angels to help us, we have to ask, right? And I think that's a really big disconnect that people have, is that, it's that old joke, God, why didn't I win the lottery? And God says, well, did you buy a lottery ticket? Do you only ask the angels for help when you're in desperate trauma? Do you consistently talk to them and thank them and ask them for their help and create your own relationship? Or do you wait till that final moment of, oh shit, the house is burning. God, put the fire out. Angels come save me. Do you wait to that last second? Or do you have them integrated so that they're a part of your life and your whole being? And that's what I strive to help people find, is that they listen to your angelic guides. You listen to what they have to say. And unfortunately, we have this thing in media and TV that we think, the angel is going to be in a burning bush. And it's going to talk to you like this, and it will tell you exactly what to do. Yeah, not so much.
Not so much. Right.
But if you listen to the song that's in your head in the morning and go look up the lyrics, if you actually read the passage in the book that keeps opening up to you, if you stop and look with your third eye instead of your eyes, you actually see that they're giving you messages and they're clearly trying to get to you. Sharmee, you told us this morning that your bird pulled out a large feather.
Angel.
To me, that is a sign that angel gifted you another wing, another feather for your wings. Yes. And that angel had a message for you of devotion and love for all that you do for Angel. And I thought, how perfect. Angel gave her a wing, gave her a feather to put into her own collection of her angelic self that she is. And that you received the gift. See, that's the other thing is that we tend not to receive the gifts that are given to us. We tend not to accept the message or to hear what's saying, because again, our ego, our clogged ears don't let us hear what they're trying to say to us. And that connection is here. It comes here. Yes, it pours down your crown. But your connection is your heart chakra. It's that divine love. So we have to tell these angels, oh, thank you for this great day. Thanks for helping me. And these are the things that I need. Okay, so I need a parking space when I go. I need to make sure that my children are taken care of. I need for you that we all have good health. Oh, and hey, could you help me find, I need something here. And there are billions of angels that are like, hey, they're calling upon me. I'm going to go help. I get to go do this. I get to take care of that. And each angel has their own little thing that they're going to go do. And then you say, thank you so much for taking care of this today. Now I'm going to go ahead and live.
So Rachel, can I ask you a couple nitty-gritty questions here? So when you are connecting with the angels, do you see them, hear them, feel them, all of the above?
This has been the fun, I have to say. So when I was originally taught angel connection, it was dreaming that you take your soul and you step up and that you're in like a bubble. And the bubble always looked like the Jetsons spaceship to me. So I'm sitting on this pleather bench, this orange bench, and this orange like Jetson spaceship. And then I dream that I go up, 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 up. And I'm envisioning myself going up. And then a loudspeaker comes down and I say, yes, can I please speak to the guardian angel of Ruth Anderson? Will the guardian angel of Ruth Anderson please come up and show himself? Could you, oh, hi. Sorry, I was just using an example. And then that angelic being, in this bright being of light form, like a giant, would come and sit in the spaceship with me, and we would talk. And they would tell me here, I'd listen here, what it is that I needed to tell you. And that's how it started for me. Now I'm to the point where I just sit here and when whomever I'm dealing with or you have to give me your full name 3 times. You have to give me permission. The angels have come to me without permission, and I don't play those games because, I'll send love to people's higher selves, but I'm really only here to give information if you're conscious and if you need it. So when you say your full name 3 times, it gives me permission. And now, instead of going up, I actually look to, like Sharmee, I can look to your left and I can see, about 10 angels standing around you at any given time. Very, we're going to say very protective. Okay. And I can see that each of the angels behind you has a different purpose. You've already aligned them. You've named your chief operator. You've named who's your scout or your go-getter. You've named who your healer is, and they have their order within for you. And so now it is a visual in my mind's eye. It's very loud when sometimes, because like Sharmee, you can tell that you work with them. They're so happy to be with you. And they're like just waiting for your, I don't want to say command, but they're waiting for you to ask them what they need or what to do. When people are first working with angels, it's kind of like a group of cats, everybody's like, I'm doing this and I want attention here. And you got to put one in charge. You're usually your guardian angel. And then you organize them, and then they really will connect and help you more. So I can see them. Sometimes I get physical or touches or pokes. Sometimes it's a smell. People put smells to human souls, but angelic, if I'm working with the high order, the dragons, the seraphim, it'll smell very frankincense and cardamom in a kind of a sparky sandalwood with, So and I can smell then what level it is. When I smell roses, I know it's divine feminine. Mm-hmm. I know there's no 2 ways about that. Aqua or fresh water, Metatron, when you go into sacred geometry, smells almost, and I almost get a metallic-y taste.
Yes, absolutely.
Reminds me of hematite. So the fun thing is that it keeps expanding. Have I had them physically in my presence? Yes. I can't, I always avert my eyes, and they're like, you can look. And I'm like, yeah, sure. I have photographs in my deck of cards of different angelic beings, that these giant beings of light that you can see. So yeah, it does come in all the forms. And again, the more that I connect in, the more that I practice, it does become second nature. I believe with this era that we're walking into of divine love, that we do hit a point where we actually just see that they're present with us. we actually see that they're surrounding the cities, and that they're surrounding our people that are transitioning, and that feeling that you get, if you get a feeling that you feel all alone, and it's along those suicidal tendencies or a real depression or a real heartache, I know for a fact then that you have an implant and you're covered, because you're never alone. Right. You are never disconnected from God and the angels. You are never disconnected from God and the angels. There is nothing on this planet that can do it except for your own fears and implants or programs that others have placed on you. So a quick prayer, take this off of me. Boy, they want to help you.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you, Rachel. I do have a question. When we talk about light language, we tend to think about, really high vibrational energy coming in. Sometimes you know where it's from, sometimes you don't. Different people experience it. Sometimes people experience it through dance. Sometimes it's through artwork. We're going to want to see yours in just a second. Sometimes it's a language that you may or may not recognize. And sometimes folks can translate the light language that's coming into them, even if it's just graphics. They might be able to explain what it is. Sometimes they can't. So what is that like for you? Here's your art.
This is not my art.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
This is exactly what you're talking about. This is a woman out of Texas, Kay Horn. This was done in 2015. And she's doing exactly what you described. She does artwork and she does light language. So these symbols here that's light language. That is angelic language. Okay.
Right. Codes. Yeah.
And so the reason why I'm showing you this is because everybody has a different gift and everyone has a different way of experiencing the angels, and there's not one right or wrong way. Kay here, I had a booth set up down the hall, and I saw that she was doing this, and I ran up and said, "Oh, can I sign up? I've got an hour off." And she laughed at me and said, "No, that's not how it works. I'm scheduled was filled, on the first day." But obviously I have this painting, and 5 minutes later I was sitting down and she was giving me the message. So again, everything for its highest good. And after she handed it to me, she translated it and wrote down what the meaning was of this message. And when she was translating it to me, she did start crying. She's like, "I have never had this type of message. I have never, all these years I've done this." And it was a letter of love. And it was a letter that it doesn't matter what I do, as long as I am who I am, my love will go through all time, space, and dimensions. And that I just hold this rainbow portal, this vibration for all beings. And that all that I love will be taken care of. And that I don't ever have to worry. So get over the worry now, because everything has already been put in motion. And it was amazing. It was amazing. She's like, "You don't have to work on anything. You're already connected." And I'm like, "I don't know." Well, I still go back to that because it really shows that we all have our own way of communicating. Now, when I look at those letters, they actually do pop out more to me, and I can read it without reading what she wrote in the back and understand that she said it perfectly. The painting here behind me is what another artist painted of my soul. So I don't necessarily always speak the light language. And I have channeled in different souls where they're speaking Spanish or French. And then Rachel's own tongue gets tied, because I sometimes think, is this real? Like, it still is like crazy to me. And I will actually stop the conversation, which I have to trust in myself, and I really have to let it flow out. So there are different ways that again, I have a girlfriend, she gets movie clips in her head. And it's, again, whatever angel she's working with loves the movies. And that's how that angel communicates with her. It gives her movie scenes. And it always goes with it is. But you don't get the communication, you don't get the information unless you ask and you're grateful.
Well, and you said earlier, it's about being in relationship.
Yeah.
With those angels, because who do you talk to? The people that you're in relationship with. So I don't think you can expect an angel to just come drop you messages if you haven't had any kind of commitment or work with them before.
And just start. You don't, I started on the top with this angel class because I knew that there was a calling for me, and I knew that was my thing. But you, dear listener or viewer, just start with a prayer from your heart. Maybe they'll tell you to go get a candle. That's a fun thing to do. Go stand at go to a certified farmer's market, and you're going to find a candle maker there that has good soy and good candles, and just put your hand out and say, well, tell me where to stop. Which candle do you want me to get to think of you? And I'm going to light this candle, and I'm going to think of you every time I light this candle. And it doesn't have to be an altar, and it doesn't have to have crystals or sacred geometry. It's just your connection, your acknowledgement of a higher power and of your helpers.
Yep, that's beautiful. So, Rachel, everything about you is in color. I absolutely see why the artwork that they did for you is so colorful. Is it hard for you sometimes living in the 3D in color? Is that hard?
No. I think that I learned in New Orleans when I lived on Bourbon Street for 10 years that I actually got named as 100 top character of New Orleans. And I didn't understand that at the time, but I thought it was great. But I'm not even a character of myself because it is truly what and who I am. And I believe in rainbow living. I believe in the vibration of the unity of all the colors. Funny enough, I normally have purple hair. It's coming back, right. But I changed it to appease my mother out of honor. And I do want to make sure that I always honor what it is that I always want to keep my mom happy. Let's just be honest. So, and the other reason why I changed it was because I realized that I am so colorful that I kept getting bombarded on Instagram to support gay and lesbian things, which I totally do, but I'm not into that. I'm into you being whoever you are. I would feel fake if I were to promote it because I feel that I'm just a neutral rainbow. I don't feel that I have to sponsor one side or the other. And then the other reason is the old men hitting on me was getting awkward. I don't know why they liked women with purple hair, but it's not that I'm a sexual being. I am, but I'm happily married, and that's not my goal. Right. And I was getting cornered in grocery stores by like 80-year-old men who were turned on by it. Look at that. You got another feather. See, we're totally connected in doing the right thing. So I love living in color. I love vibrating it because I've been told, oh, you need to tone it down. I've been told you don't need to shine your light. People are going to come and try to suck it away from you. It's unlimited. Suck all of it that you want because it's not going anywhere. And my protection is the color, is that light. I don't wear amulets. Because I don't need that. I just have to be divine love, right? Or a representative. So I gotta represent.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. So, Rachel, if somebody is just beginning to be open to listening to the angels, or, having that real spiritual connection, do you have any suggestions for them?
Yes. Be gentle on yourself. Drink lots of water. Eat what you want. Feel what your body has to say. I know you thought I was going to tell you, go listen to my podcast, go read this book. But that's not where we're at anymore. We're at a point that you, listener, you're the magician. You're the angelic soul. You are the highest connection that there is. And all you have to do is step into your heart and explore it on your own. Go walk in nature. You want to find a connection? You will find a connection in the trees and the rocks and the water. There is a park near everybody. People say, I live in the middle of the city. Well, the middle of the city is where I've been to the most spectacular vortexes and parks in the world, are in the middle of ginormous cities. You have to find your own voice and your own connection, because right now we are being bombarded with spirituality, bombarded with crystals and paintings and books, and I am the divine light, and gurus and mantras and meditation apps. And there is so much that you need to taste it each to find what your flow is. That's why I love Enlightened World Network. That's why I love what you've done here, because this is an honest to goodness source of true love and light that you find within your heart. I would recommend somebody to stick with you and what Enlightened World Network is doing, because you offer so much variety. You allow people to experience the different forms without judgment, and showing that we all have, our own special gifts. So if I were to really tell somebody where to go, Enlightened World Network is an amazing place to start, because you really shine the light on all that there is to offer without judgment. And that is all that we could ask.
Well, that's really sweet. Thank you, Rachel.
I would absolutely second Rachel on this one, Ruth.
Oh, thanks.
So, while I do understand this, that, like it's all about listening to yourself and being the magician, I have seen over time that people are still in that third dimensional self where they rely on books, they rely on cards. I recently retired from tarot, which was a big shocker for me itself. But people like us are the music makers, right, of this industry, of this spiritual world, of being a part of Enlightened World Network, etc. So if people were to rely on books, I do believe you have some books written and you have some cards. Would you like to share about that with us?
Oh, I'm so grateful. Thank you for saying that. Thank you so much. Yes. So last year we published, or actually this January, we published the Prophecy Map of Nova Gaia with two other beautiful women, Kay and Geeta. And this book is literally self-guided to spirituality. The first chapter is about Kay's experience with Reiki downloads, and then you get a download as you read it. The middle part, Gita has made incredible mandalas. Again, downloads for you to receive and to understand communication. That's why we call it a map, because it is your map. And then the third section I wrote as Dragonheart, and I explain creation from the books of Enoch. I retranslated, rechanneled Noah's dad, basically, and retold this story of understanding our human lineage, our extraterrestrial lineage. And then we go into how to do meditations. So it is literally the do-it-yourself guide to this modern age of love on how to become a healer energetically, how to talk to angels and otherworldly beings, and to create your own connection without having to go to Giza. The other tool that I created, again, when you said you quit doing the tarot cards, I was like, yay! Because tarot's awesome and I understand its need in the universe, but I like oracle cards.
Oracle, yes.
So, Sharmee, I am giving you an inspiration to make your own deck.
I do have one.
This is to me what it's all about. And my oracle deck is photographs that I've taken all over North America for the past 11 years. And it comes with a little booklet that describes to you what stone people are, so that you can hear the guides themselves. We talk about who the standing people are and the messages that they have. And so each of these cards tells you a story, but at the same time, they're also guides. They're guides for you to connect with, to feel their energy, to answer your questions. I have a girlfriend who takes her deck to work and she pulls a card and will put it out in front of her. And that helps her define her day. Here's the Tree of Life from Ecabecum in Mexico, in the Yucatan. Many of these beings, remember I told you I have pictures of angels? Well, there's a picture of an angel. And that was a sunset at Venice here in California. So the cards can be used like a tarot deck, past, present, future pull. You can pull one thing and ask a question. But the whole idea is that you connect to the nature and you hear what it is that they're saying to you. You understand through listening here. And again, it is a tool, it is an oracle. You can use it to ask guidance, to ask questions, but it also gives you kind of a sneak preview of how to connect in with nature herself and how to go past of seeing what it is that tree or what it is that rock, what it is that plant medicine wants you to learn. So there's sky people in here. We have the sun, we have the moon, we have the snow and the ice, the water people. And they're just here to teach you everything from sacred geometry to learning how to go to in your own cave and hibernate.
Oh, Rachel, your cards are stunning.
Thank you. It's
so unique. I have never really seen an oracle deck that looks like it. That like what came to me was that you be your own oracle. right?
Right. Which, yes, that goes back to my statement earlier is I believe you already have a connection. Yeah. And so let's explore who you are and your connection. Because what I found with the tarot cards is I still remember going 18 years old and being told how my life was going to go. And then that becomes manifest destiny. And maybe that wasn't for my highest good. And maybe they just saw what they wanted to see. And that wasn't my life's path. But at that moment, that's what the universe laid out. But it doesn't necessarily mean that's the way I should be. And then I would go to my voodoo priestesses and in New Orleans, and I get so excited, and they would lay out the decks and they would tell me, and my heart would sink because there would be so much negative or downtrodden with it, and you have to suffer and be a victim. And no, not anymore. Not anymore. We don't have to be a victim to anything. We don't have to suffer. So the cards, the animals, I will eventually have an animal deck too, because I've got animals that come out too. But right now it's connecting with the elementals, the basics. And then as I find, the more grounded I get, the more into earth, the higher you go into the other dimensions, the stronger your connections are when you meditate. I mean, it's blown me away because I thought, oh, I'm going into my cave and I'm getting too grounded into the earth. Oh no. The stronger you're connected with, like Angel there on you, the stronger you're connected to earth, to 3D. Why? The freer you're allowed and the more higher you're allowed to go up and bring it back with you. I know a lot of people who can go into these high dimensions and meet up with their friends and have their sex clubs or whatever, and that's cool and fun. But I'd rather bring back down to earth the information with me. I would rather bring back the healing and the wholeness.
One of the phrases about Enlightened World Network is bringing heaven to earth. Yeah.
So exactly what we're saying is, and that's this new age. That's what we're building. It's awkward, but it's exciting.
It is. Well, so Rachel, we need to finish up here, but can you tell us if people want to know more about you, want to find your books, want to find your cards, how do they find you?
My cards are on sale on Etsy. Also my website, waychilllife.com. You can book private sessions with me. I do it online. I have clients as far as Australia, so time and space doesn't matter when we do this type of work. The book is sold on Amazon. It also has ebooks on Kindle. I will say getting a hard copy is much more fun because you can flip through, you can write notes down, and you can color in the mandalas, which, I did. So there's something sometimes physical that's fun with having a real book. And then with my cards, I also made a 2-hour course that's free online that goes into more detail on how to use them yourself, what other things mean. They also get into chakra energy, depending on the colors, because it is all about color, and what areas that you need to work on, where you can even lay that card on the different chakras and allow that guide in the card to heal that area, to remove the block, and to help you elevate other needs. So it's not like, here's a deck of cards, you're on your own. I've really tried to create a support system around it because it is about you learning your own intuition and you speaking that light language. I will say I have one message that is coming through right now from Archangel Michael. And he's like, it's actually for Enlightened World Network, not pleased. I don't know what the right word is. And it's not proud, because he's not a proud guy. He's elevated and excited. And they're like, he's just expanding within you and the whole system, because it is all being guided through the heart and not through the 3D wallet. So the abundance and the donations and the support is going to come, I'm supposed to tell you. But you have laid the groundwork in the authentic way that was necessary for it to be heard.
Beautiful. Thank you. And thank you to Archangel Michael.
Yeah.
All right, ladies, we need to finish up here. But if anybody is watching on here, stay on or just come right back to this place, because Rachel is providing our meditation a day in about 10 minutes. So friends, thank you for being here. Sharmee, Rachel, so much love to both of you. Our friends, take good care and God bless. We'll see you soon.